$1 million is the universal retirement number. Most people assume it takes 30 or 40 years to get there from nothing. I'm Max of Monkey Money, and today we're walking through 3 Vanguard portfolios that show you exactly how to get there in 10 years, starting from zero. Before we get to the daily and monthly numbers, let's make sure we agree on the destination and why $1 million is the right target. There's a retirement strategy called the 4% rule that's backed by decades of academic research. The concept is straightforward. If you have $1 million invested in a diversified index fund portfolio, you can withdraw 4% in your first year of retirement, which is $40,000, and adjust for inflation each year after that. The reason it works, without draining the account, is that a well-invested portfolio typically grows faster than 4%. So while you're withdrawing $40,000 annually, the remaining portfolio is still compounding in the background. In many historical scenarios, the portfolio actually ends up larger after 30 years of withdrawals than it was at the start. $40,000 a year breaks down to $3,333 per month flowing into your life, whether you work or not. The 4% rule deserves a bit more context given the current 2026 inflation environment. With inflation running at approximately 3.3 to 3.5% in 2026, a $40,000 annual withdrawal from a $1 million portfolio is viable but not luxurious. For the target audience of this video, which is the 25 to 40-year-old building toward financial independence, that $40,000 base is likely supplemented by other income, part-time work, a side business, rental income, or Social Security payments that arrive later in retirement. The $1 million portfolio is the foundation. Most people who reach it don't stop there. They continue contributing while transitioning from full-time employment to more flexible work arrangements, which further extends the portfolio's longevity under the 4% rule. Add the average Social Security check on top of that, currently around $2,000 per month, and you're looking at over $5,300 per month in retirement income. That's the destination. Now, let's talk about how Vanguard gets you there. The 3 funds we're using today are all from Vanguard, and each one plays a specific role depending on how aggressive the timeline needs to be. The first is VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. It tracks the 500 largest companies in the U.S. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, NVIDIA, and 496 others. Expense ratio of 0.03%, which is essentially free. Over the last 10 years, VOO has averaged approximately 15.21% in annual returns. The second is VUG, the Vanguard Growth ETF. This one tilts toward large-cap companies with high growth potential, tech-heavy, higher volatility, higher expected return. Over the last 10 years, VUG has averaged approximately 17.78% annually. It's the bridge between broad market stability and aggressive growth. The third is VGT, Vanguard's own ETF for information technology. This is the growth engine of the portfolio. VGT concentrates heavily in semiconductors and tech. Approximately 34% of the fund is in semiconductor companies, with NVIDIA at 18.52% and Broadcom at 4.38%. Over the last 10 years, VGT has averaged approximately 24% annually. It's also the riskiest of the 3, and how much of it you hold depends entirely on how much time you're giving the portfolio. One thing worth noting before we get into the numbers, in April 2026, both VUG and VGT went through forward splits. VGT went from nearly $800 per share down to the $100 range. VUG dropped from above $350 to around $85. This matters because it eliminates most of the cash drag for investors who don't have fractional shares, meaning almost every dollar of your monthly contribution goes to work immediately rather than sitting idle. Here is the banana version of why the fund choice matters so much in a 10-year timeline. With 30 years, you can plant slow-growing trees and still end up with an enormous stash because time does the heavy lifting. With 10 years, you need trees that grow faster, which means more concentrated bets, more volatility, and the acceptance that some months the stash will shrink before it grows. The growth engine matters more when the runway is short. Let's start with the 30-year version because it shows what's possible when compounding has time to do most of the work. The allocation: 60% VOO, 30% VUG, 10% VGT. The broad market does the heavy lifting, VUG adds growth, and VGT provides a small upside kicker without taking the whole portfolio off course. Blend those three together and you get a portfolio with a blended annual return of approximately 17.1% using actual 10-year figures. At that return, the monthly contribution needed to hit $1 million in 30 years is approximately $520 per month. For context, that's about $17 a day, or roughly the cost of a streaming service and 2 coffees. By year 10, that $520 monthly contribution grows to approximately $116,000. By year 20, it reaches approximately $494,000. By year 30, you're at $1 million. Of that, you personally contributed approximately $187,000. The market generated the other $813,000. That's the thing about 30 years. You're not really building the wealth yourself. The 30-year path also illustrates something important about why most financial advice defaults to this timeline. At $520 per month with 30 years of compounding, the math is forgiving enough to work for a wide range of incomes and savings rates. But most people who start thinking seriously about retirement at 35 or 40 don't have 30 years. They have 20 or 25. And the math of shortening the runway changes the required monthly contribution dramatically. Understanding all three versions side by side is what helps you decide which version actually fits your income and timeline, rather than defaulting to the one that sounds most comfortable. You're just the person who showed up consistently every month. Compounding is doing the actual construction, but most people watching this don't have 30 years to give it. So what happens when you compress the timeline? The 20-year version keeps the same three funds, but shifts the weights. VOO drops from 60% to 35%. VUG moves up to 40%, becoming the largest position. VGT climbs from 10% to 25%. The reason is simple. With less time, the portfolio needs to grow faster, so the more aggressive funds take on more of the workload. The blended return at these weights comes out to approximately 19.4% annually. At that return, the monthly contribution needed to hit $1 million in 20 years is approximately $1,100 per month. That's a real number that requires real discipline, but it's achievable for a wide range of household incomes. By year 10, the account is projected to reach approximately $225,000. By year 20, the same $1 million finish line. Of that final million, you contributed approximately $264,000 yourself. The market added the other $736,000. Now notice what shifted compared to the 30-year version. You put in about $77,000 more of your own money, but you bought 10 years back. The market did less of the work. You did more. That's the trade. Now let's get to the version that most people came here for. And if you've made it this far, hit those like and subscribe buttons. It genuinely helps us keep making content like this, and we really appreciate every one of you. The 10-year version is the most aggressive, and I want to be honest with you before showing the math. This is not for everyone. The monthly contribution is significant, the portfolio is concentrated, and the volatility will test you. But the math is real, it works, and for the right household income and savings rate, it's genuinely achievable. The allocation: 15% VOO, 35% VUG, 50% VGT. Half the portfolio is now in a single sector. That's a concentrated bet on technology and semiconductors. The reason is the same reason that's driven every shift in this video. With only 10 years to compound, the broad market alone can't deliver $1 million from zero. The concentration risk in the 10-year portfolio is real and worth naming explicitly. 50% in VGT means your portfolio is heavily exposed to a handful of technology and semiconductor companies. NVIDIA alone represents nearly 18.52% of VGT's holdings. Broadcom accounts for another 4.38%. In a sector-specific downturn, a portfolio this concentrated can drop significantly more than the broad market in a short period. The counterpoint is that the same concentration that produces downside volatility also produced the 24.09% annualized 10-year return that makes the math work. This is a risk-adjusted trade, not a free lunch. You're accepting more volatility in exchange for the higher expected return that makes a 10-year timeline mathematically possible. The blended annual return at this allocation is approximately 20.9% using actual 10-year Vanguard performance data. At that return, the monthly contribution needed to reach $1 million in 10 years is approximately $2,100 per month. That's roughly $70 a day, every day, for 10 years. To make that work, you're realistically looking at a household income of $95,000 or more with a savings rate of 40 to 50%. That's a high bar. It's a contrarian ask. It's also a finite and achievable goal with a hard endpoint. For households with two incomes and the discipline to run on significantly less than they earn, this is not a fantasy. Here's how the numbers build. By year one, the account sits at approximately $25,200. Mostly your own money, since the market hasn't had enough time to contribute much yet. By year 5, the account is projected to reach approximately $195,000, with the market now adding meaningfully on top of your contributions. By the end of year 10, the account reaches approximately $1,058,000. Of that, you personally contributed approximately $252,000. The market added the other $806,000. Even on a 10-year timeline, the market still more than triples your personal contribution. Compounding is still doing more than half the work. Here's the comparison that makes the full picture clear. All three portfolios reach the same destination, $1 million. The only difference is what you personally put in and what the market provides. 30-year path. Approximately $187,000 in personal contributions. Market generates $813,000. 20-year path. Approximately $264,000 in personal contributions. Market generates $736,000. 10-year path. Approximately $252,000 in personal contributions. Market generates $806,000. The 10-year path requires the highest monthly contribution, but because the returns are higher due to the more aggressive allocation, your personal contribution total over the decade is actually lower than the 20-year path. You're not working harder than the 20-year investor in terms of total dollars contributed. You're working harder in terms of dollars per month, and you're accepting more concentration risk to get there faster. Before we close, the tax piece of this strategy is non-negotiable, and it's where a lot of people leave real money on the table. The 2026 401k contribution limit is $24,500 annually, or $32,500 if you're 50 or older. The 2026 Roth IRA limit is $7,500. Maxing both of these before investing in a taxable brokerage account eliminates what's sometimes called tax leakage, the annual tax drag on dividends and capital gains distributions that can shave 1 to 2% off your effective compound annual growth rate over a decade. On a 10-year timeline, 1 to 2% per year in tax drag is not a small number. Across the full portfolio, it can represent 6 figures in final balance. Max the 401k, max the Roth IRA. Then invest the remainder in a taxable account, in that order, every year. Vanguard also has an advantage in taxable accounts specifically. Their in-kind redemption process for ETFs minimizes capital gains distributions compared to traditional mutual funds. This means even when you're investing outside tax-advantaged accounts, Vanguard's ETF structure is more tax efficient than most alternatives. It's a structural advantage that adds up quietly over a 10-year compounding window. The second banana analogy here is specifically about the tax-advantaged account sequencing. Think of your 401k and Roth IRA as two fully sheltered storage units where your bananas grow without the government taking a cut every year. If you fill those units first before putting any bananas in the open-air market, you keep significantly more of what grows. The bananas in open storage are still yours, but they get taxed every time they produce a new bunch. The ones in the sheltered units compound in peace. Fill the sheltered units first. One more thing that makes the Vanguard approach particularly effective for this strategy. Since January 2025, Vanguard has allowed recurring automated purchases for ETFs. This closes the main practical gap that used to exist between Vanguard ETFs and Fidelity mutual funds. You can now set up automatic monthly contributions to VOO, VUG, and VGT, and the system executes them without any action on your part. Automation is not a minor convenience. It is the mechanism that prevents the 10-year plan from becoming a 15-year plan because you missed 8 months during a rough market stretch. Automatic contributions mean you buy when the market is down, which is exactly when you should be buying. Set it up once, let it run, and don't watch it too closely. There's also a compounding accelerator that runs quietly in the background when you hold Vanguard ETFs. Dividend reinvestment. VOO pays a dividend yield of approximately 1.2% annually. VUG and VGT pay smaller dividends in the 0.3 to 0.6% range. In a taxable account, those dividends are taxable each year. In a Roth IRA or 401k, they reinvest completely tax-free, adding shares that then generate their own dividends. Set dividends to automatic reinvestment, then those quarterly payments become additional shares that compound alongside your monthly contributions. It's not a dramatic number in year 1 or 2, but over 10 years of consistent reinvestment, the dividend compounding adds a meaningful additional layer to the final balance that the simple return calculations don't fully capture. 3 portfolios, 3 timelines, 1 destination. The variable isn't the destination, it's how much time you're actually willing to give compounding and how much of the work you want the market to do versus your paycheck. The 30-year path is forgiving, the 20-year path is disciplined, and the 10-year path is aggressive and achievable for the right household. Drop a comment and tell me which timeline are you on right now. And if this video helped you see what's actually mathematically possible with Vanguard index funds, then subscribe to Monkey Money, because every week we build out the real financial math behind the goals most people assume are out of reach. See you next video.